Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Corn Belt. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We've got a dense fog advisory in effect across portions of central and southern Illinois down into the boot heel of Missouri. And looking out the window here in Champaign, Illinois, it is absolutely soupy out there with visibility under a mile across portions of, again, central and southern Illinois down into the boot heel of Missouri. That'll eventually burn off as we head into the late morning hours. And then otherwise, we are quiet across much of the Corn Belt as we wake up there this Friday morning. Temperatures across the region, pretty pleasant for this time of year. We do have some cooler conditions across, again, the same area impacted by the dense fog, keeping temperatures stunted a bit there in the mid-40s. Elsewhere, we've got 50s across the central and eastern Corn Belt into the mid-south with 40s and 30s off to the north. The cold spot, the northern Great Lakes, as you would expect, northern Minnesota into the UP of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, temperatures in the 20s across that region. We've got a busy surface map, and it's a busy satellite picture here as we look at the departing storm system, the one that brought all the severe weather to Oklahoma over the last couple of days. We've got a couple disturbances right now that are going to make their way slowly from west to east across portions of the Corn Belt over the next 2 days. And then we've got another disturbance that is off the screen here that we'll be watching, making its way in as we get into midweek. Taking a look at the radar reflectivity, again, here's our main storm system, still producing some severe weather across portions of Florida. We've got scattered showers and storms across the middle part of the country here as we wake up on this Friday morning. We'll be watching this again slowly organize, producing some severe weather across the south once again, and then some rain across portions of the central and eastern Corn Belt. So as we quickly head through the next couple of days looking at the surface picture, this is what we're waking up to on Friday morning. Again, our main storm system, or the prior storm system that brought the severe weather to Oklahoma on earlier in the week, is departing. That's going to bring some severe weather to portions of Florida and the east as we head into the afternoon today. But here's our next little disturbance. We've got two areas of low pressure, one across portions of southern Iowa this morning, one down in the southern plains this morning. As we head into the mid part of the day, we're going to see showers and storms expanding across portions of Missouri and Illinois as we head into Saturday morning, continuing to watch now this primary area of low pressure beginning to deepen and organize across the mid-south. This would be Saturday morning, heading into Saturday evening, and then into Sunday morning, Sunday evening, now Monday morning, getting into Tuesday. Here's our next storm system now across the midsection of the country. So we'll quickly just flip back and watch that once again, watching the evolution here. Here's this morning, heading into Friday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning. Monday, we should be quiet then across the Corn Belt, and then Tuesday, our next disturbance makes its way in. We do have to talk about some severe weather over the next couple of days. That severe weather threat going to be greatest south of the Corn Belt today. This is the Friday outlook and then Saturday outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, where you see the yellow shading is our slight risk, which includes maybe several miles of southern Kansas there, but then primarily eastern Oklahoma, eastern Texas, getting into Arkansas, and then that threat tomorrow shifts into eastern portions of the Mid-South. Now we can look at our kind of in-house thunderstorm environment index and look at where that environment is most primed for severe weather as we head into this afternoon. This is 4 p.m. this afternoon. And again, we see those highest values where we do have the slight and enhanced risk across eastern portions of Oklahoma, eastern Texas, getting into Arkansas and Louisiana. As we take that into 7 p.m., we really see that environment prime across the south. So if you're in the south or you're more curious about that severe weather threat, go ahead and check out the southern region forecast video here later this morning. Now back to the north and to the west, we do have another system here that's making its way in on the backside, but it is moisture starved. So you do see some of these lower values here between 2, 3, maybe 3.5, and that's where we're talking about maybe the chance for a few sub-severe thunderstorms. So the chance for a few rumbles of thunder across the northern plains as we head through the day today as well, but not talking about the chance for much in the way of severe weather off to the north and to the west. So let's watch how it plays out. Again, watching with the high-resolution rapid refresh model, the chance for some severe storms to erupt across this region during the afternoon. And that's exactly what we're seeing advertised here as we get to, this would be noon, watching for maybe some hail-producing storms across eastern Kansas. So across the eastern half of Kansas, perhaps some severe weather in the form of some hail as we head through the middle part of the afternoon into the late afternoon and evening. This is when we'll see the more robust severe weather threat begin to erupt across eastern Oklahoma, eastern Texas, getting into western Arkansas overnight tonight, and that's where we'll have more of a tornado threat and a damaging wind threat as we head into the late evening and the early overnight hours. Now, as we just kind of take a step back, looking at a longer range picture here with the high-resolution NAM model, again, we'll just let this begin to play as we head through our Friday, letting it freeze here. Let's get to sunset on Friday now, about 7 p.m. Watching for that severe weather threat off to the south and to the east across Kansas and Oklahoma. portions of the Ozarks here, Missouri and Arkansas. Elsewhere surrounding that, we do have the threat for some thunderstorms across portions of Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois as we head through the day today. And then the chance for, again, a few rumbles of thunder back off to the north with this next storm system that's trying to make its way in on the backside, but is a bit moisture starved on the backside of this storm system. So let's take it into Saturday morning now. This would be sunrise on Saturday morning, right around 7. We've got rain across Missouri, Illinois, spreading into Indiana, across Kentucky and Tennessee. Our storm system across the northern plains it's trying to produce some showers here, but it's going to run out of moisture as we head later into the day on Saturday. Getting it all the way to Saturday evening now, watching that rain spreading across the eastern Corn Belt, impacting Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. The storm system on the backside here is still producing some light showers, but really running out of moisture at this point to work with, especially as we head into Saturday night. And by Sunday, this guy has all but vanished at this point. By Sunday morning, we're watching that rain continue to push off to the east, lingering across portions of Ohio and maybe far western Kentucky and Tennessee. That rain is going to be stubborn to move out of the far east, talking about Ohio and then, eastern Kentucky. So a stubborn rain in that area. By the time we get to Sunday, though, into Monday, looking pretty pleasant across much of the Corn Belt. Now, as we look at precipitation through Sunday, so this is the next, 3 days of precipitation. Again, watching for the core, the heaviest rain here to fall across portions of Missouri, getting into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, right through the mid-Mississippi Valley and the Ohio River Valley. And that's an area that had been, pretty quiet, pretty dry over the last 2 weeks. Not completely dry, but dry compared to average, and dry enough that it has opened up an early planting window here, where driving around Champaign County in east central Illinois, there has been a lot of planting going on. So that may continue here as we head into the later part of the day today. But as we get into Saturday and Sunday across this region, at least coming to a temporary pause with that planting window across the eastern Corn Belt. Now, where are we headed beyond that? Well, here's our trough that created the first round of severe weather across Oklahoma earlier this week. As we take the drawing off here and just let this play for the next 24 to 48 hours, here's our next system, the one that's going to bring the rain threat across the eastern Corn Belt and maybe some more severe weather across the south. And then as we head into midweek, here's our next player. This is the one making its way across the Pacific Northwest here on Sunday. As we get into Tuesday, we're going to start to see this next wave begin to emerge across the midsection of the country, such that this is the picture with the jet stream Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Another well-defined trough making its way into the central portions of the United States. And so we'll see the response there with the moisture. Let's go ahead and look at the precipitable water content. Again, watching this first storm system bringing some rain to the eastern Corn Belt, portions of the Mid-South. Dry Sunday and Monday on the backside of that, but then as we head into Monday and Tuesday, as our next wave begins to emerge, we'll start drawing moisture northward once again from the Gulf of Mexico, and that is going to lead to another storm system across the midsection of the country. So quickly, the European model, just taking it through the next week. We've already covered the first storm system fairly well in depth, but just to time it out once again with the European, here's Friday evening, heading into tonight, getting into Saturday morning now, watching that rain across the midsection of the mid-Mississippi Valley, the lower Mississippi Valley, across portions of Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Here's midday Saturday. We're still watching this storm system across the northern plains bring some light showers, but really light, sporadic, sparse amounts of precipitation with that one. The heavier precipitation definitely focused here across the eastern Corn Belt. This is Saturday afternoon. Saturday evening would be sunset, heading into Saturday night. Sunday morning, and then this is where the rain will be stubborn to exit here across the east, but much of the Corn Belt by Sunday enjoying high pressure and beautiful conditions, drying things back out. And then as we get into early next week, that Tuesday storm system, we're starting to get better agreement. We don't yet have the exact look, but as we look at the European model on the left, the GFS over here on the right, pretty good agreement. The European model may be just a little bit slower and stronger with that storm system, keeping the area of low pressure over the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, whereas the GFS just a little bit weaker and a little bit faster with that area of low pressure across central Wisconsin. But the idea is clear here, another storm system across the midsection of the country as we get into the middle part of next week, and that'll again mean the chance for showers and storms, perhaps a disruption to some areas that are getting ready with some planting, and then perhaps again talking about severe weather. At this point would be more concerned again across the southern U.S. Total precipitation through the end of the weekend on the left, and then for the next 7 days over on the right. So you see the first storm system laying a swath of precipitation across the mid-Mississippi Valley, into the eastern Corn Belt. And then as we add in next week's storm system from the ensembles, again, kind of filling things in off to the north and to the south of that, once again bringing precipitation into the southern U.S., and then bringing a little bit of additional precipitation to portions of Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, with that area of low pressure tracking a bit further off to the north. Where does it remain dry? Well, dry compared to average as we look at the next 7 days in terms of an anomaly. Again, keeping things wetter off to the east, kind of just along and east of this line. It's going to be focused primarily the eastern Corn Belt, bringing an end to a dry stretch there. But a lot of the northern plains, the central plains, keeping things on the dry side as we head through the next 7 days. What happens with our temperatures? Well, the highs for the day today are going to be cooler across a big chunk of the Corn Belt where you see the blue shading, but off toward the north, we're a little bit warmer than average. 60s widespread across the Corn Belt with some 50s here and there. A bit cooler for the day on Saturday. This is where we have that heavy rain and cloud cover across the region, so a really unpleasant Saturday, cool and rainy across the mid-Mississippi Valley, portions of Missouri, Illinois, getting into Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. That cool, rainy air mass shifts off to the east slowly on Sunday. We're starting to warm back up off to the west. Here's your Monday highs. And then looking at Tuesday, again, just really struggling to shake that cool bias as you head off toward the east, but moderating as you head off toward the west, with above normal temperatures expected across much of the western half of the United States. Your lows tomorrow morning will wake up to temperatures really in the 40s and 50s across many areas, 30s across the midsection of the country here on Sunday morning. Monday morning, again, watching that storm system move from west to east, bringing cool and dreary weather along with it.